crafty friends. I'm Katia with Lunar Sun Creations, and today we are going to be doing kind of a Northern Lights inspired alcohol ink background. Every craft market that I do during Christmas times, the alcohol ink Northern Lights background cards seem to sell the best. So I always make tons of them coming up to this time of the year because I know they're going to sell. All right, let's get started with our supplies. So I've got some regular Yupo paper, which is like a non-porous substrate, very silky smooth on the front. Okay, you could also use photo paper. So I've got that in white and I've just cut it down into 4 pieces. And then I've also got some in black, which is technically called craft plastic. Just got this from Amazon. All right, so I've got 4 pieces of each. I probably won't use all 8 of them in the video, but just thought I'd show you. I have got my own alcohol blending solution. I used the last of my alcohol blending solution, so this bottle is actually filled with 99% isopropyl alcohol and then 3 drops of vegetable glycerin. Okay, and that kind of creates the same thing that the alcohol blending solution does. And then I've got 3 ink daubers with a little bit of felt just from the dollar store that I've put on and kind of roughly cut to size. And then I've got my alcohol inks. So I've got 4 pearls. I have Intrigue, I believe this is Villainous, Celestial, and Sublime. And then in the regular alcohol ink colors, I've got Denim and Patina, Citrus and Botanical. And then I don't know what this purple is. I've managed to get enough stuff on there that I don't, the name is covered up, but it's a purple from Ranger. And then I've also got Blue Violet from Jacquard. Okay, and then for one of the techniques, I will also be using the white alcohol ink from Jacquard Pinata. Okay, so make sure you have gloves, a well-ventilated area, and some paper towel handy, and let's get going. Okay, so the first one that I'm going to do, I'm going to coat my entire piece of Yupo with a generous amount of the homemade blending solution and just rub it all over with my finger. I want to make sure that every part of this is coated. Then I'm going to take one of the deep blues, so I'll use the Denim, and I'm just going to go around kind of the outside edge with the Denim. I'm going to put a little bit of the Patina down in the center, as well as a little bit of one of the pearls. I think the Sublime, I'm just going to give it a little shake real quick. And then just a hint of purple down near the bottom. And I'm kind of just going to move it around with my finger to start off. Wiping my finger off on the paper towel as I go so I don't contaminate things too much. Blue down a little bit more here. Okay, and then I'm just going to pick it up and tilt it just a little bit. And that's literally it. I'm going to let that dry. And again, I'm going to go with the, I'm going to go with some pinks and purples. So I've got the Intrigue. Okay, and then Blue Pearl. I'm gonna put some pearl and I'm gonna put some deeper blue on there at the same time, I think. couple drops of white. I'm gonna do some deep purple. Okay, so I'm gonna go maybe 2 drops of purple and then a couple drops of that deep blue. Buddy, I'm gonna feed you in just a minute, okay? Okay, I kind of like that. I'm gonna maybe let this dry and just kind of see what it does. Okay, I'm gonna leave this and go feed Zuri, who is telling me that he's literally wasting away. And we'll make them into cards. So here are the 2 that I showed in the video. And then here's a bunch that I did off screen. I showed those 2 at the very beginning. And then just a bunch on a variation of a theme. Kind of all done in similar fashions, mostly just with my fingers and some with, this one was with the foam pads. This one I think was also with the pads. These ones I added a little bit of snow to, and I did that just by taking a white Posca pen, giving it a good shake, and then tapping it with another pen or marker until it gave me the splatters that I wanted. Okay, so now I'm gonna create some really simple cards. Cards do not have to be overcomplicated. I usually overwork and overcomplicate most things and make my life much harder than it needs to be. Okay, so the first idea is to just use the background in its entirety. I've got this generic, I think it's from Alibaba, so it's just like a Christmas village scene. And so I'm just going to cut that out and it's going to go just on top of the background, and you'll see the Northern Lights kind of inspired theme in the background. So I'm not like, this isn't my favorite one, so I'm okay if quite a bit of it is covered up. So I have cut this out already on some holographic cardstock. I cut my pieces out when they're really intricate like this. I cut them out with the adhesive already on the back. I use these giant rolls of score tape from scrapbook.com and I just cover an entire sheet with it and then cut it into the size that I would like and then die cut with the adhesive already on the back. And then it's much easier because then you can just kind of poke all of these pieces out. I mean, it takes a little bit of time to poke them all out, especially all these tiny little dots in the windows. So I just poke all of those out and then the rest of it will have adhesive on it already. So I'm just going to spend I'm just going to spend a couple minutes getting all of the little biddies out of here and then I'll put it onto my background. I hope this isn't like hurting your eyes looking at this as I shine it around. Okay, I'll be right back once I've got all the background parts taken out. Okay, so once you've got all those little holes poked out, we can remove our backing here. Just do it carefully so that nothing kind of sticks to itself. I usually peel up part of the backing and then start to put it down on my paper and continue as I go, just to make sure that if there is any pokey, like any holes that didn't completely get removed, like any of the little biddies. There's a couple that got stuck here. There we go. Okay, so I just take off like part of the backing and put it down and then continue. Okay, and then once it's on there, you just kind of cut out the outside. And just a little tip for you, if you're having troubles getting all the little bits out of an intricate die cut, try using a lint roller. just like run the lint roller kind of over the die cut. I mean, you're gonna have to do it very carefully. I tend to do it when all of the backing is still there, and it will really help to remove all the little bitties. They will all come off. This isn't a very good example, but you can kind of see some of the bitties there, so it really does help. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut around this and then put it onto a card base. Another example of doing that is I've used this Lampwork tree collage die from Memory Box. I love this one. I've had it for years and I use it quite often. And this background I just felt was way too dark to be used for anything, but I decided to put a black background, like a back die cut over top of it. And then I just used a white gel pen, this Jelly Roll pen here, and I just outlined the inside of the die cut, and now it really pops. Okay, and you can do the same thing with lettering. So I was going to use this Merry Christmas die on here. So again, I'm not sure exactly where this one is from. I don't think this is the right packaging for it, but this is a Merry Christmas large die. A couple options for that. You can use the background and place the die cut on the background like we did on the last card, or you can cut the alcohol ink background itself. So this one is an alcohol ink background that I wasn't really happy with, so I've used the Merry Christmas die on that, and then I've got a snowflake embossed panel, and just that, I might back this whole thing on purple, and then that's a card as well. Another thing that you can do is to use die cuts like this. So I've got this Merry Christmas and this bauble die. So this bauble die cuts out the outline of the bauble and then the pattern that goes on top. So this is what it looks like. I've cut the outline and the decorative part out of silver, and then I've cut the outline out of one of my alcohol ink backgrounds. And here's another alcohol ink background. I didn't do this one today, but I did that another day and did a black design on it. Like, don't those look pretty? That's all you gotta do. Just put that on a card, sentiment strip across the center, bada bing, bada boom. And then with this globe die card, I've used a really light alcohol ink background. So I just glued this onto it and then just cut around the shape. Okay, and I really liked this light kind of Northern Lights sweeping sky background. This was one of my favorites actually. Okay, so I'll kind of put these, all of these are pretty much ready to go. I'm just going to put them on card bases and I will show you all the cards. So keeping it really simple, literally die cuts on the alcohol ink backgrounds or the alcohol ink cut out using the die cut. And that's all I'm doing for the day. One last die, or a couple last dies that I'm using. I am using this Let It Snow die from Creative Expressions. So that's what it looks like. And I think I'm going to put it on one of the ones that I already have snow on. So I'm going to glue that one to that. And then I also have a Hero Arts snowflake die that I've used and cut out another one of my alcohol ink backgrounds, and I'll just put that on a probably just a white card base with a little bit of snowflake embellishment. And lastly, I'll be using this die cut from Creative Expressions. It's a Christmas tree double edger, so it's got two edges. I'm just going to be using the trees, I think. It's hard to see. There we go. So I'll be putting that one on there as well. Okay, so here are some of the cards that I created. So these trees I covered in glossy accents, just so they had a bit of dimension and shine. You could also use a Nouveau glaze, a crystal glaze. I do that for quite a few of my cards. I love the look of it. And I will be doing it for a few more, like this one here. I'll also be adding the crystal glaze. I haven't done it yet, but it just kind of makes the trees stand out a bit more against the background. And then this is one with that lamp post. I'll also be adding the glossy accents to this one, I think. But don't they look more like Northern Skies once they have kind of like something else on them? And then this is the one I think I showed you earlier where I kind of outlined it. Let It Snow with the Posca Pen Snow. And then these two here. I love both of these actually. And this one I also put a embossed background as a layer behind it. And then these two are with the alcohol ink being used as the actual die cut, so cutting out of the alcohol ink. So this one is the snowflakes were cut out and I just added some little bling there. And then this Merry Christmas on an embossed background. And it's out of one of the purple ones. Okay, so all of these cards, as well as quite a few others, will be added to my Etsy shop over the next few days. So I'll have quite a few cards. I think I have 7 in there right now. And over the next few days, I'll be adding quite a few more. So I hope that you'll go and check those out. And I hope you have some playtime creating some easy alcohol ink backgrounds, Northern Lights backgrounds for cards. So I hope you're having a beautiful day and I will see you again very, very soon. Bye!